Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Adam's Quest. In the last episode, Asana's ambition did not sit too kindly with our ancestors. She knows that something needs to be done about the apes in the jungle, because our tribe won't be able to get over to these ports if the apes are blocking their path. But she's expecting a full-out war between our tribe and the apes. And right now, we just don't have the strength to spare. Her first daughter, Rila, is quite strong, but even she is not going to be able to take on the apes alone. And our ancestors seem to be very attuned to that. I wonder if it might be her mother who's causing her to be so ambitious. Her mother was known as the most ambitious leader of her time after all, so she wants to live up to that image too. So that does mean that training is going to begin for Rila as soon as possible, because Asana is also getting very close to the end of her lifespan, so she needs to figure out if she's ready to take on the bluebird feathers. I am still hoping that we'll be able to get one more baby out of she and Foxglove, and luckily their father is going to be around for quite some time to come, so he'll be able to watch after them, make sure they don't get into too much trouble. Meanwhile, our fairies are in a much better position, though Bluebell has me wondering if she might actually surprise our leaders. With that striking blue fur of hers, I'd imagine they'd consider her to be quite the interesting omen. Surely she would remind them of the bluebirds in our skies? Though interestingly enough, we don't actually have any birds circling overhead right now. So maybe she's kind of like a good luck charm in a way, and we might want to bring her over to our leaders so she can meet them in full. We just want to make sure that she's not going to get herself into any trouble. We don't have enough claws in the area with energy to spare to dig her out of that carnivorous plant. So as she noses curiously around the shores, places that she's never seen before. Oh, she was born in the heart of the jungle? So the beach is probably brand new to her. All of this ocean, the shells and the fish. I never thought about it like that. She was following the stream down straight into the tide pools, and now she's in a brand new land. Well, luckily she has her dutiful friend Wildflower right behind her, and she should be able to watch her shadow, so Bluebell can explore in peace. We might even have Hibiscus and little Wolfsbane cross the stream too, because I'm sure Hibiscus would like to show Wolfsbane his old home. They haven't been here in quite a while, and with that big claw of his, I bet he would be excellent at catching the bunnies. Let's hide him in the grass up here. With his stripes, he should be quite camouflaged, and then maybe on the next turn, he could do a little bit of mole hunting. Waterlily has already been quite successful in catching the meat, but all of this new commotion is causing Layla to feel quite concerned. She's already sent her sick brother off into the tall grass to hide, so hopefully nobody will notice him. But I think she's curious enough that she will investigate who's knocking on her door. She must want to know why they've decided to come back after she sent them packing before. She assumed that they'd get to live out their lives in peace, but clearly Chipper had other plans. He just wanted to show Truffle how to gather the stinky fruits, because if she is going to be doing a lot of exploring in her lifetime, this is something that could be essential to her survival. Safe food in the jungle is few and far between, so he knows that he needs to teach her right. And since she already lost her parents at such a young age, that task is falling right on his shoulders. He doesn't mind though. Chipper always loved the babies. He probably wishes he had the chance to have babies of his own, but today is going to be his final day too. So I think Lalace is going to request that her son lays low for now. She would prefer it if he would hide away just like his uncle. But in all honesty, I think he's a little bit more interested in chasing after these bunnies. With his lean body, it's going to be very hard for him to take them down, but I don't think that would deter him from trying. He seems like a very stubborn individual, kind of like his dad was. That should be the end of our turns though, so let's go ahead and skip the day And we'll watch in the darkness just to make sure that the ape isn't going to sneak up on our creatures. I'm not sure where he ran off to, but it seems like he's far enough away that we're able to hide from his sight. We just need to make sure that our camouflage is high enough to stay off of his radar. So that's where those spots come in, the black fur and the toxic body too. That should be another good way to keep the seeing apes away from our creatures. Oh, Bluebell! It looks like she made a little crabbit friend. Oh, she must love the ocean. She didn't even know what she was missing out in the jungle. While if our bluebird family was feeling worried that she might be a danger to their tribe, they certainly don't have to worry any longer. I can see her patting this little guy on the head, friendly as can be, and putting Asana's worries to rest. This blue creature is clearly no threat. So one last time, before we do anything else, let's see if Asana is going to get to have one last baby. Oh, excellent. Maybe you being around is actually a little bit of good luck after all. A little good luck trinket for our bluebird family. Maybe Asana would ask her to stand by her babies. It's a lot to ask of a stranger, of course, but Bluebell is just so smitten with these shores. I can see her staying here for quite a while to come. And it helps that Wildflower is related to Foxglove, of course. I don't think they knew each other, but just because they look so similar, I think they would start to get suspicious quite quickly. So we'll have them set up camp here for now, but we will still have to be mindful of that much more dangerous carnivorous plant. We have a couple around here that perhaps Princess Rila could do a little bit of training with. We'll just have to have her mother carve out the grasses so she can stumble her way out of the nest. And then tomorrow, once her mother does unfortunately pass away, her training can officially commence. So today, Asana is just going to try to fill her mind with stories. That way she'll know all of the old legends of Adam, and she'll be able to teach her new little brother or sister all of those stories too. We'll have Foxglove try to make some clear pathways. And then I suppose you, Wildflower, you could show your stuff by scooting over here and cracking open that very first carnivorous plant. Hopefully Rila is watching so she'll know what to do. And Bluebell, if you wouldn't mind, I know you love your new crabbit friend, but we could really use your help picking up these fruits too. Our fairies have always been the best at tending to the plants, so this is a job she knows quite well. I think it might be time for Wolfsbane to jump into the grass and pick up his very first mole. He has certainly grown up very well, and I know that our bluebird family will be eager to meet him because of those lovely stripes of his. His claw is probably just as important to Asana right now. Wonder if she might even make him their little general, somebody to lead these troops that she's creating to go out and try to find those apes again. And speaking of which, maybe we should have Almond and Lyric breed again too. That way we'll have a backup plan with all of those toxic bodies. Why don't we see if Almond can take Leaf out exploring? We'll see if they can find any other food up here by the tree. Maybe some more little bunnies hopping around, or at the very least they could use their claws to fish up some little morsels in the stream. It looks like Kirduknu may have caught a little bunny off guard. I guess he's hiding particularly well today. Well, let's have him go ahead and swipe it up, and hopefully Truffle won't notice. Hopefully he didn't make too much noise. This was why we wanted him to teach Citrus how to sneak around, because he's very, very good at what he does. I'm sure that would help Citrus in his mission to take down the bunnies too. But in an effort to be friendly, we'll have Lalace go ahead and lick off some of that stinky juice. Though it seems as if we might have to have a Waterlily come over here and finish the job for her. We don't want poor little Truffle to draw any unwanted attention. Oh my goodness, you're just a little bunny magnet. Now unfortunately that meat is a little bit out in the open, so there is the potential for somebody to notice. And even worse, you've set it up like some sort of trap. Maybe he's trying to lure the apes to the carnivorous plants? But surely the apes would be able to destroy them. There is no way they'd fit in one of the carnivorous plants. So it was a good effort, Kirduknu, but I'm not sure how much it's actually going to work. Why don't we have Citrus scoot his way into the grass now? Oh, he could actually stand high atop the stump. Not only to light up the area, but maybe to help him spy those bunnies he's been chasing, because it seems like they may have all skittered away. But I think we're out of turns now, so we'll go ahead and skip the day again. Oh my goodness, and this Crabbit absolutely loves you, Bluebell. They are going to make the best of friends. It looks like our new baby might have the stinky tail. Oh, that's quite helpful. She's almost like a complete opposite of her sister, actually. She has the same Berryina claw that we mutated onto Rila, but she also has the deformed paw in place of the velvet paw. So unfortunately, she's not going to be quite as good at sneaking around. But her stinky tail will be useful if we do run into danger. So if nothing else, these two are going to make for quite the interesting pair. I'm very excited to see where their stories are going to take them. I wonder if a little bit of sibling rivalry is going to spark between them, or if Rila is going to abandon her mother's ideas of war, and thus change up their dynamic. Either way, she is their new bluebird leader now, if just by default. So she is going to begin training as soon as possible. We'll have her crack open this carnivorous plant, maybe pick up some of those fruits, and then hopefully Foxglove can help her out. But first, I did hear one of those pesky bunnies stealing our berries, so we better make sure that you guys are picking up every last one that you can get your hands on. Oh no, Almond! I think it was this one? Oh, well, it's a good lesson for Leaf. You have to be on your toes when you go out hunting. We'll go ahead and tend to your plants again. It would be a good idea for us to gather these up for the journey anyway, because we are going to need as much food as we can possibly carry. Taking down the apes will be no easy task. Now maybe Bluebell could find some roots that she could dig up instead. We do have quite a few up here behind the babies, so she can show them her own unique way of foraging. If Lalace doesn't beat her to all the roots anyway, I feel like she's going to be keeping her eyes out for those tasty morsels too. Those are definitely her favorite snacks to dig up with those big digging paws of hers. Now luckily, I think Kirduknu is off the hook, at least for Truffle, because she's a little bit more concerned with this creature standing high atop his throne. And I think she's curious enough to come down here and hopefully get to know Citrus. It looks like she's even unearthed that bunny that he was chasing too. So maybe this could be your chance to really impress him. Or really aggravate him maybe, because I'm sure he wants to catch that bunny himself. These two don't even realize that they're related, but I could definitely see a little rivalry sparking between them too. A little healthy competition between two of our bravest explorers. Now, Truffle might not have noticed Kirduknu, but Waterlily is a little more attuned to her surroundings. With her big nose, I bet she would smell that meat quite easily, and she probably would have heard his sneezing with her big ears too. Now, Waterlily is something of a healer, so the sneezing alone would be enough to draw her closer. And this is where Kirduknu would usually slink away. But with all of the dangers nearby, the ape in the darkness, and of course that carnivorous plant that he has mistakenly set up a little trap for, he would have to reveal himself, so she wouldn't stumble straight into harm's way. I really do think that deep down, Kirduknu is just a kind and soft little soul. He probably just wants to make friends like everyone else in the tribe. But with his sickness, he knows that he's actually one of the most dangerous parts of the jungle too. So he'd probably try to send her away. But once again, Waterlily is the healer of the tribe, so she might just make it her mission to help him get better. And of course it's going to start with this healing fruit. Fingers crossed this thing is going to spawn back again once we skip the day, because poor Kirduknu could really use it right now. I'm afraid he's going to run out of time on his lifespan if he doesn't take more medicine soon. It looks like all of the fruits on this side of the island has grown back, so I'd imagine we have a pretty good chance of seeing this again before he does end up passing away. Oh, and speaking of which, poor Hibiscus didn't make it through the night. Well, I'm glad that he got the chance to see Wolfsbane do his hunting, and I'm glad that he was able to meet his sister Bluebell too. He lived a pretty full and slightly chaotic life, with all of those bear hyenas, but we know that he was happy. Now as for this little baby, I'm very happy to see those big ears with the toxic body, because that means, just like her brother, she shouldn't have to worry about losing her energy when it gets a little bit too hot in the jungle. I think we might name her Harp to go along with her mother's musical-related theme. That way she can carry those songs across the island too, and keep the fairies' traditions strong. Now, I wanted to bring Wolfsbane down to meet the bluebirds, but I think he might be a little bit more helpful up here, where he can help Almond and Leaf do some hunting, because goodness knows those two could use another paw. Everything out here is pretty much uncharted too, so we're going to have to be very mindful about where we're stepping, just in case more of those apes have spawned in the meantime. Hibiscus actually wanted to chart out this area before, but that was when the bear hyenas weren't such an issue, so we never got the chance to see if maybe there were some berry bushes for them to use. We'll have to see if his son is any more successful. Maybe he'll be able to find a brand new place for the flowers to call home. But that should be the last of our turns too. So let's go back here one more time, just to make sure that our creatures aren't lingering too close to those jungles. Well, thank goodness with the rains, it looks like we may have summoned the healing fruit back to its plant after all. Oh my goodness, and just in time. Okay, Waterlily, you better feed this to Kirduknu right away. Oh my gosh, look how much time he has left on his lifespan now. You are a lifesaver, Waterlily. I bet he's very grateful that you showed up. Oh my gosh, I don't think you're going to be able to save him from that though. Oh no, it looks like they have drawn the attention of the ape, so he wasn't quite as far away as I was hoping. Oh, you guys are going to have to hightail it out of there then. There's no way that Kirduknu is going to be able to hide away with that red fur of his. So Waterlily, you're going to have to lead him down the shore, and you guys can swipe up the bunnies along the way. As shocked and appalled as Citrus would be. Just as Kirduknu feels like he's finally catching a break, it looks like his family is on the run again. But it's important for him to remember that this time, he's not going to be all alone. He doesn't have to stay in the darkness, slinking through the shadows, because Waterlily is going to make it her mission to make him healthy again. And who knows, maybe something more will even blossom between them, assuming they can find a safe place to rest their heads. And the rains mean that we'll have plenty of food to gather up, so maybe with this brand new harvest, our tribe will be feeling strong enough to finally go deeper into that jungle, to see if maybe there's a different path that they can take. In the next episode, I'm sure that's going to be high on Rila's mind, because all of these big decisions are about to fall right on her shoulders. I wonder if she'll look to Bluebell for some guidance after all, just like how our leaders often gazed into the sky to see where all of those bluebirds were flying. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!